receive the happiness. So, controlling yourself whenever it is possible at your end, then you can find happiness all the time with you. Okay. So, if you write this statement, if your imagination is guided by your natural acceptance, you are sure to be in harmony and happiness with it. You are self organized. So, students, since you are now a student of an university, you try to be self organized. This will help a lot to be in a state of harmony, which will at the end of the day give you the happiness. And not only you, it will give the happiness with your all family members also. Whenever you are feeling happiness, you can propagate that happiness to your friends, to your family, to your neighbors. So at the end of the day, this will help the entire society also. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Only one yes. What about others?
Yes, ma'am.
You can write why in the chat box if you are agreed with me that whenever you are in happiness state, this will reflect ultimately in the society also. Okay, receiving answers. Okay, what about others? Fine. So in this way, we can cover up few more things. So first of all, where is the pen? Okay, fine. So at first, you have to ensuring the harmony in self by self-exploration. How these things can happen? See, you have to start self-exploration. That will give you the harmony in yourself. So at that time, you have to know your natural acceptance. You have to be very much aware of your imaginations. You have to find out all the sources of your imagination. And finally, you have to work out a way to shut out our imagination, or better to say, your imagination also. Fine. So, till it is fully, okay, till it is fully in the line with our natural acceptance, you have to work out. Now, when the imagination is in harmony with the very known natural acceptance, then there is a harmony in self. Okay, so this, what is this harmony? Happiness or unhappiness? Student, this harmony in self is
Happiness.
It's
exactly.
happiness, ma'am.
Exactly. This is our happiness. Now, we are at the end of our lecture. So, these are the summary. We have covered up the self needs. Self needs to be in harmony all the time. Then, what you can achieve? You can achieve the happiness. And it is possible by how? By improving your thoughts, your desires, right? So whenever there is an unfulfillment of desire, you have to challenge your thought. You have to use your power of thoughts. You have to improve your thoughts, right? So it will give you the achievement of happiness. Now, it is easy to say that think positive always, but negative thoughts may come. You have to think that negative thoughts only bring unhappiness. Conscious, consciously start thinking right so that you are in a state of happiness. So, whenever there are some negative thoughts in your mind, contradict them with your positive thoughts so that they cannot be take larger larger effect. They cannot play, they cannot bring the unhappiness in you, in yourself. Okay, so try to contradict your negative thoughts with your positive thoughts. Try to make positive thoughts more effective in yourself. Okay, now visualization of your natural acceptance. This is obviously up to you that how far you can visualize it. As far as possible from you to visualize your natural acceptance, it will definitely dominate your imagination. And at that time, at the result, you are going to place yourself in an happiness. So, visualization of your natural acceptance is a very important one. Now, when you are getting all these things, if you have the capability of thinking positiveness, if you can achieve your happiness by improving your thoughts, you can make the harmony all the time in yourself and obviously have the power to visualize your natural acceptance, then try to help others to help also yourself. Even whenever you have the capability of all these four, try to propagate your capability of all this power to others. Try to propagate your positive thinking, your positive thoughts towards your society. At the end of the day, it will give us the harmony, the happiness in not only ourselves, in our family, in our society, in this entire world. Right? So this is end of this lecture. Thank you, students. If you have any question, you can ask right now.
Kapulina ma'am, thank you very much for your talk.
One thing, Kamalika madam, someone had joined in late. Actually, Maji said joined in late. He forgot this. That's if you say, I'm requesting Kamalika madam just
Yes.
to speak in brief, just repeat, okay, within 2 or 3 or 5 minutes, okay. Then those who have joined in late through
Okay.
YouTube, I think they'll be
Madam, what sir is
able to.
asking is basically, can you please summarize the entire talk
Exactly,
in
exactly.
just
Okay,
5 minutes?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Okay. So I have to move, I try to go through all the slides, but as fast
Okay.
as possible. Okay. So let us start with the activity of self for harmony. So here what we can say that this desire, this thought, this expectation, these three, these are basically the activities of ourself, right? So whenever we are talking about this desire, it is basically the form of image, right? So whenever we are thinking about the desire of our desire, then we are just thought the idea generated by our thinking. So desire is basically what every human has as a form of image, and thought is the idea that is going to be generated through this thinking part. Right. Now, the expectation. This is what? This is basically the outcome. This is a belief which is going to be happen as a result of our desire and thought. Now, if we are trying to make the connection of these three, then you can see all these three, desire, thought, expectation, these are going to happen continuously in our mind, in ourselves. These are very much related. But when we are getting a fulfillment of our desire, then we are happy, right? But when we are not able to get a fulfillment of a desire, then anger may be there, but we have to control. We have not to generate our anger at that time. And how it is possible? It is possible by using the power of thoughts. And it is possible by challenging our own thought to think about the right way, to think about the positive thing, right? Now, if we are thinking that, what are these three? This desire, thought, expectation, these are basically going to give you the imagination. Okay, these are nothing but the imagination. So, imagination is going to have the happiness and the unhappiness, these two states. Okay, so in case of happiness, you can see that when all the desires, all the thoughts, all the expectations, or a chain of desire, thought, expectation is going to achieve at your end, you can feel the happiness. But if it is contradict with any one of this, you are in the state of unhappiness. So whenever when it is in contradiction with your natural acceptance, you are in a state of unhappiness. Right? So you can see that what I am, this is basically the imagination. But what I really want to be, this is the natural acceptance. Okay. Now, if we are going to state this state of imagination, that we can see one is well organized in harmony and another one is random mixture of harmony and the contradiction, right? Now, when we are talking about the source of imagination, there are different sources. First of all, the preconditioning, then the sensation, and then the natural acceptance. When we are talking about the preconditioning state, then this is basically what? This is basically the beliefs. This preconditioning is basically the beliefs, the notions, the norms, the ideas, etc., prevailing in the family, in the society, which we have assumed without knowing. So they may influence our what? Our imagination. Now, whenever we are talking about sensation, this is the information, right? This information we get from the body through the five sense organs of what? Of sound, of touch, of sight, of smell, of taste. Now the last one, the natural acceptance. This one is basically, you can see the self-verification on the basis of our natural acceptance can be what? Can be the third source of our imagination, right? Now, if we are willing to make one diagrammatic view, then from this set we can understand that Here, this is the content of imagination, which are basically the in continuous involvement of desire, thought, and expectation, and these are affected by preconditioning, sensation, and the natural acceptances. Right? Whenever we are able to make the natural acceptance as a dominant one on the content of our imagination, then we can say a self organized one. But if preconditioning and sensation is going to make the, or better to say, the preconditioning is going to play the main role to make our imagination, then ensemblement can come out. Now, whenever natural acceptance play a main role in our imagination content in the self, then you can find out the continuous happiness and prosperity. But whenever preconditioning, sensation, this is these are involved in our all the desire, thoughts, expectation, dislike tree, then there may be a possibility of having in a state of unhappiness. Okay, now you can see here in our daily life, basically preconditions play a vital one in our imagination content, right? So, as much as possible, if we are able to make the natural acceptance as a dominant one in the content of our imagination, like this, then you can see right understanding to be ensured in yourself. And whenever you can understand yourself properly, then you are in the state of harmony. It's been you are going through the happiness. Whenever you are feeling happiness, it will reflect in your work, in your behavior, right? And at the end of the day, it will reflect in your family, it will reflect ultimately in your society. So, whenever we are in right understanding of ourselves, we are in the state of harmony. We are able to place our family in a state of harmony. We can propagate this harmony towards our entire society, towards our world, right? So, this is the possibility to make the chain of happiness an active one, starting from your own self, right? So, whatever we have to understand this, that know your natural acceptance, be aware of your imagination. You have to find out all the sources of imagination, and at the end of the day, work out a way to shut out our imagination. These 4 points play the role of ensuring harmony in self. So, these are basically self exploration. How much you can explore, exploration is possible from yourself, you will be in as much as possible in the state of harmony. So, try to make self exploration. And here is the summary that we have already discussed, right? So, try to be yourself in harmony, yourself in happiness. Try to propagate that harmony, that happiness towards your family, towards your society, towards your world. All of we, if going through this channel, then everything will be placed in a very nice way. Negative thoughts are there, obviously. Try to make them less as much as possible. Try to dominate them with the power of your positive thought. Okay. Try to achieve your happiness, and it is possible by improving your thoughts, by identifying yourself. Your visualization of your natural acceptance can obviously help to make this entire thing possible in yourself, in your society, in ourself, in our society. Right? So that's all. Once again, thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, madam. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think it has been
Students, if you have any
Yeah,
questions, you
Topalina
can
ma'am,
ask.
thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, deliberation is wonderful, ma'am. Actually, I missed it from the beginning, but thanks to Swadesh sir, I got a chance to have the review of the total lecture. Indeed, it's a great lecture.
Okay, thank you so
Of
much,
course,
sir.
in the next discussion section also, I request you to be present with the students so that queries gets clarified. But
Yes,
as
yes.
of now, yeah.
So let me clarify a few things here. That
Yeah, in the
next
chat
class,
box,
yeah,
ma'am,
next
in the chat
class,
box,
yes, sir.
some queries are there in the chat box from Arjoma Chatterjee. So I request Apolina ma'am to check and clarify some
Okay,
of the
okay.
queries. Yeah. Apolina ma'am, shall I read it out for you?
Yes, I am going through the chat box, sir.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Before we do that, I just wanted to announce two things to the students. One is like I already mentioned that in the previous class, that on 8th, we will be having a regular class where we will complete this module, which is module 2. And we will discuss whatever discussion we will be having, we will be completing on that day. And followed by the examination of module 2 will be on 9th. Maji sir, I have already shared with you the PDF. So have you shared that with the students?
Yeah, last day's PDF I have shared it, ma'am. Today, have you shared anything?
Today, Topolina
Not
ma'am will
yet,
share
not
that.
yet, but after this completion of class, I will definitely share the material, sir.
Yeah, as soon as it is shared, ma'am, I'll give it to them
Yeah.
through the
So that's
Telegram
all
link.
from my end. So Topolina ma'am, you can just carry on with the doubt clearing session.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. So first question is, ma'am, I have got a question from last day's discussion. Ma'am, using polythene bag is a desire or greed?
very
This
good
is,
question. A very interesting question. Okay.
Interesting question, ma'am.
okay. This is Arjoma Chatterjee, right?
Right.
Okay. First of all, how many of you are still using polythene bag?
Ma'am, I'm trying to stop it. Like I always avoid taking it from the
Yes.
top.
Ma'am,
See,
unfortunately, we have to use it. I at least use it, unfortunately.
okay. Actually, all of we, maybe most of us, trying to avoid this polythene bag as much as possible, but sometimes we are still in using, right? But if we are thinking that it is a desire or greed, then you can say that whenever we are thinking about a pollution free nature, pollution free environment, then at that time, if our desire is regarding the pollution free environment, then we have to make the polythene bag not in our using. We have to give up those. We need not to use this polythene bag at all at that time. But if you are talking about this grid, it's mean some maybe I don't know in which sense you are making this one as a grid. Can you explain that why you are thinking this polythene bag as a grid? Easy to use in this form or just throw it anywhere this like thing?
Hopefully the first one. It's easy to use and easy availability.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Oh, hopefully. So at that time, you have to change your thought that whenever whatever is easy to grab, is it good to grab it or not? So your desire is try to make environment pollution free. So you have to thought that I need to accept all those things which are our environment friendly. Not at all whatever is available easily, right? So expectation then come as a form of don't use polythene, try to use nature friendly materials, right? Are you happy, Arjuma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I just
fine.
wanted to add something here
Sure,
because
ma'am.
I have seen this many times, and I personally have, I won't say I've stopped using because it is very hard when you go to a shop. But you know, Arjuma, when you have thought of this, why don't you take up this as a kind of project that we will make more paper bags, we will make more cloth bags, and we will promote that. Maybe from this universal course that you are doing here, you can take up this idea and you can make a group out of your friends or so to promote this, that we as a GIS group, we want to promote only plastic free bags. So you can just have something like this because it is our effort that will bring us changes in the society. It is we, either you, me, or anyone else. So it's a very good point that you have raised from this discussion. And I would suggest you that not using plastic is a wonderful thing. There are many countries who have adopted this, but not completely. At some point of the time, they do have, but they have charged money for using plastic. And if it is nature friendly bag, you can bring the bag along with you for any shopping center, and you can take the things from there. So I believe that we can make a big difference if we promote paper bag and cloth bag. And many shops have done that, but more to go, I guess, in this regard.
Another thing, Kamalika madam, I think it is a matter of conditioning, and because knowing the negative effect of this using this polythene or the use of these things, still or we do sometimes, it is due to the actually conditioning. Okay, so if we, from our knowledge, from our that natural acceptance, the Sagular madam has explained. So if we condition, develop our conditioning in our systems of mind, then we'll be always will not do that. Say the strong will of that conditioning will control ourselves to do that. That is one thing. So there is a matter of conditioning, conditioning of our mind,
Absolutely, sir. Saying no
right.
to something. Saying
Right.
no to something.
Right.
Exactly. And with this discussion, I guess the second question that we have received from Arjuma, you have, Arjuma, now it is clear that you are going to receive you have already received the second answer, right?
Yes,
With
ma'am.
this discussion? Okay. So there is no any other question right now. So thank you once
Yes.
again to all my students and my
Thank you, ma'am.
colleagues also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for this wonderful session.
Okay.
You are welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So we are ending the session now.
Okay, so
Ma'am, do we have any test like previous class?
Okay. I'm
Previous
telling.
class slide is shared in Telegram.
Okay. Now, one thing, Kamalika madam, whether you have sent this PDF, I didn't get this. That's why I didn't circulate to the students. Okay. So if you send again, then I will send it to the students.
Okay,
Kamalika,
sir.
ma'am?
After this class, the previous lecture as well as this lecture will be merged and shared to you and Maji sir, both of you. Okay,
Okay,
sir?
I'm
Okay.
okay.
So,
Okay, ma'am.
thank you, sir. May I leave?
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll just stop the
Okay,
YouTube recording.
okay.
Thank you, all respected teachers.